Hello everyone and welcome to my video presentation. Let me introduce myself first. My name is Agus Sufian, and in this opportunity I would like to share to all of you the result of our research that we have conducted during pandemic. But before we start our presentation, I would like to also introduce all of you to other contributors of this article. Um, all right, I'm sharing the screen now. Um, my contributors are four persons for this opportunity. They are Didin Hidayat, Amani Lubis, Umi Kulsum, and Maya Devianti. So to maximize our time, maybe I would just start my presentation. It's about the implementation of e-learning during a pandemic. We talk about potentials and the challenges of e-learning. All right. Everyone, so talking about COVID-19, I believe COVID-19 has affected lots of life sectors, business, education, markets, and things have changed. Normally, it doesn't work like this, but we have to shift as fast as possible because we need to adapt with the current situation. So normally during the COVID-19, we are quite familiar with these four terms, especially related to education context. For example, we are familiar with massive restriction. Of course, we are restricted to gather around in the classroom having 40 students or 30 students, for example. And we're also familiar with the second one, no physical meeting, of course. We are not allowed to come to our school or our universities. So basically, we try to move everything to online platform. So you go online. And the last one, maybe we are also familiar with this term. We are also familiar with virtual class. This is quite common these days. We are having a class on Zoom, on Google Meet, Microsoft Teams, and other stuffs related to online media for our teaching and learning process. So, of course, we believe that maybe learning could generate some of the benefits. For example, students can learn from authentic materials. They can learn from YouTube, for example. They can see that maybe people out there before pandemic, they make video for learning purposes. So students can also watch the videos and doing the experiments, for example, at their own home, of course. And the second one, where students can learn together in their virtual class, of course, because when we talk about online class. That's the only place we can meet it. We can meet each other. So, it's quite typical as well. Like students become more engaged in their classroom because, um, you know, they can interact with each other. They're quiet, maybe boring at home, doing stuffs and things alone at home, and they cannot go anywhere else. So normally online classroom with the teacher with the lecturer could be one of the way to entertain them during the pandemic. And the third one is, of course, having this kind of way of teaching and learning during the pandemic. It is cost efficient, of course. I believe, well, if we have to attend to the classroom, for example, we need to, some of us maybe need to take public transportation, and we need to spend money as well. And we need to print our some paper, our homework, or articles and things like that, our readings. But then because we try to shift everything, maybe we as a lecturer or teacher can just ask our students to submit to our email. That's it. Just submit to my email, send to my email, and that's all. We don't have to use the classic way by printing and then submitting to our desk, for example. And of course, it's also flexible to access the information. Like I said earlier, We can access the YouTube from everywhere, anytime, anywhere. You know, whatever we want to do, we can just open our mobile phone or laptop, and we can find our information there. So that's theoretically like what is happening in the um, digital learning, maybe, or e-learning. So how about digital literacy in Indonesia, everyone? Actually, Indonesia is quite, I would say, modern enough, because digital penetration in Indonesia is quite good. If we have a look on the slide, Indonesia is the third largest users of Facebook, everyone. So I believe everyone in Indonesia, mostly most of us, majority of us, have Facebook account, or we have Twitter as well sometimes. But we can see from this slide that actually maybe Indonesian people is not really that shocked if they need to change from physical meeting in the classroom to online meeting on the using Zoom or Google Meet or Microsoft things like that. So the question is that now, what we would like to see from this trend is that what is actually happening during the transition process, what students find it beneficial for them in terms of the implementation of e-learning, and what is actually the challenge that they may experience during learning at home virtually. Okay, so to answer those questions, we actually conducted research by employing qualitative approach. So basically, we use open-ended questionnaire form. We use Google Form actually to gather our data, but we make it into open-ended answer. So basically, they need to answer like at least 100 characters. And I'm sorry about this one, everyone. Actually, the students who take part in this study, there are 127, yeah, 127 students in our department. So they would like to be an English teacher, of course, in the future. So we would like to see uh, the context that we provide here is actually our own department. To do so, we also um, ask our students to share their ideas, their perspectives, and experiences as well about what is happening actually during the transition process. And of course, to analyze the data, we use the summative content analysis. In this way, we use three stages. We analyze the keywords, what is the most outstanding keywords in these responses. We have lots of responses at that time, actually. And we find some potentials of e-learning. The first one is the flexibility, because maybe this study would like to confirm the previous study saying that it is flexible. Student can access anywhere and anytime. All right. And the second one, the promotion of independent learning. Of course, students become more independent. This is actually what I would like to highlight, the way that lecturers deliver the materials. Now, you know, we try to transform from being the primary director, for example, in our class, to be the maybe the facilitator, the assistant for our students. So students become more independent. And the third one, the potentials of e-learning, we find that it increased participant engagement. Students become more engaged in the classroom. It's quite confusing as well for me, because when we had physical meeting in the classroom, I noticed some of my students quite shy to express their ideas. But when we moved to Zoom or Google Meet, they became more interactive. They are brave enough to share their ideas. So I believe this is actually the benefits of e-learning, everyone. But of course, we also found some challenges here. So for the first one, because of our suggestion for our students that we actually suggest them to, you better go to your hometown, see your family during the pandemic, because at that time the lecturers thought that family support could be um, the way to increase our immune system, for example. So this is also quite problematic because some of our students came from uh, remote areas and the internet connection is quite problematic there. So yeah, internet connection becomes a problem. And the second one is, of course, increased expense on data package. I would say this is also quite problematic because maybe normally people buy like maybe 10 gigabyte of internet connection for internet connection per month, but because students should have class from morning to afternoon, then they need more data package for this one, so they need to spend more money. So they reported this one a lot, everyone, increased expense. And maybe the last one that is quite problematic as well. They said earlier that the benefits of online learning, they become more independent in their learning process. But then when they need to confirm their understanding, maybe they discuss with their friends and they don't meet agreement on their perspective and then discuss to their lecturers. Unfortunately, maybe some of the lecturers are quite, not really passive. Maybe they just didn't give students more detailed feedback. Maybe students would like to have detailed feedback, everyone. uh, just give them not only yes or no is good or bad, but also give them direction what they should do after this, what they should do after that. So yeah, that's all our findings about the implementation of e-learning during a pandemic. Um, I believe um, this typical kind of research is quite happening like everywhere, but we try to contribute as well in the literature by providing the context in Department of English Education. So that's all, everyone. Thank you very much for your attention. If you have any question, please don't hesitate to ask your question. Thank you very much. See you in real life, everyone.